Oh, good morning. It is about 8 a.m. I normally do not shoot videos this early, so I get quite a few messages and emails each month from moms who are dealing with empty nest syndrome, who've either found one of my vlogs, which I haven't really vlogged about this much, or normally they find my personal blog, expatangela.com, where I have documented the process I went through, first acknowledging that I have empty nest syndrome, dealing with empty nest syndrome, and coming out the other side of empty nest syndrome. So the reason I'm doing it today is because it's my 49th birthday. Last night I rewatched the video I shot a year ago today, and it was kind of sad. So I thought I would share a little bit today to help you if you're actually dealing with empty nest syndrome, because it is something that I'm completely out of the tunnel of, and but I really was quite affected by it. So let's go into a few things. We're going to talk about like how to identify if you're actually dealing with empty nest syndrome, steps you can take to get out of it, and ways to not damage the relationship that you have with your child. So let's get on to step number one. I was living in Hong Kong when I realized that I was dealing with empty nest syndrome. I wasn't leaving my condo. I was really upset, but I didn't realize that. I just thought it was depression over being in between jobs and that I wasn't dealing with that well. Then I realized that the part of me that I loved the most and the part of me that I'm the most proud of was being a mom. And that the year before, my daughter had left to go to university. And in my heart, I was still a mom. I was still that. I identified as a single mom still. I don't use her name on videos, so you won't hear me saying her name. But she was the light of my life, the joy of my life. Being a mom, adventuring around with her, raising her, trying to instill in her values that I hold dear, and trying not to fuck up, like, as little as possible. We're trying to fuck up as little as possible. Was my everything, and I lived for her. She and I had a beautiful life, but it was challenging. I worked with startup companies. That means you often lose your job. We had money at times. We didn't have money at times. And my ex-husband never paid child support. Okay, there were 3 months in 2006 when he paid 300 euros each month. That combined didn't cover our rent, so we're just going to go with, over the whole course of her life, he never paid child support, and he never contributed to her educational costs. But we had fun, and I guess the challenges of being a single mom made me work harder in my professional life to get ahead. So at least when she left, I had this other life still. I had my career, which I would think if you're a stay-at-home mom, it's going to be a bit tougher for you if you don't have that outlet or don't have hobbies that really attract you and get you out the door and in positivity mode sooner rather than later. So when it hit me that I was mourning the loss of this identity of mine, which I guess it would be the same if you have a divorce or you lose someone. There was a loss there, and I missed her so much. But I also just missed being a mom, and it was when I could identify that things started to improve. Trust me, it went on for a few years. So this is not like a big hey, it went really fast. It was an uphill battle for me because I didn't want to let go of her. And I guess because I didn't have a relationship or a partner to help pull me out, and I was on my own living abroad and trying to be as self-sufficient as possible, it really was a challenge. So the first thing you need to know is if you're feeling any of those things, if you realize that that's something that you need to mourn, then you need to say it, state it, and figure out the path to mourn that part of your life. It'll evolve. We don't stop being their moms or dads. We will always be their parent, but for them, it's the start of their life. And there's no looking back generally. And I'm really proud of everything my daughter's accomplished. So I'm happy that she's the go-getter and self-starter, and that she's her own person, and she's worked really hard to set up a life for her that's very different to mine, because I'm blah, blah, blah. Let's go into something else, because I could talk about her all day. So the second thing, once you've realized that that's a problem that you're having, that you're dealing with, and you really need to deal with it. So for me, I took 2 months, I went to Bali, I traveled around, I tried to get back to being me, and it helped a bit. But because of my lifestyle, and because I move and change countries so much, and I'll have to make new friends, and I don't always see my best friends, and I don't Skype with them enough or FaceTime with them enough, it was still a bit of a struggle. I was alone, I felt lonely, and I missed her a lot. And it took on something different, and I hope that you can learn from my mistakes. So because I missed her so much, and I still love her like I always have, I guess I thought she would miss me too and want to spend time with me, or reach out to me, or just message me, or just reply to my emails or messages. And it's where if I see something from her come over, I instantly pick it up, and I'm so happy. I know that she does the same with certain friends, and I hope that she does that with her grandma and certain other people. But with me, I guess there's a detachment that needed to take place, and hopefully we have a really wonderful relationship, don't get me wrong, but I still definitely want to reach out to her. It's not proactive on her side. She doesn't just check in to make sure I'm okay, or to see what's new with you. She kind of she doesn't care. But I get it. When I was young, I didn't check. I actually did check in with my parents more. It was back with phone calls, so we'd schedule them, and I was living in Spain or in Mexico or wherever. And but okay, this is the way it is, and I know she loves me, I know she's busy, and that she would be there for me, and she is there if I ever really, really need her. But I put my own desire for her to want to have a closer relationship with me after she moved out. I put that on her, and I know that I made her feel guilty. I know that and I felt needy. I often, if you go back, I'll link to different articles that I've written over the years. And there's one where I felt like such a pathetic, needy loser, because I'd be like, Alina, please pay attention to me. Oh, please message back. Oh, are you okay? Did I say something? Da, da, da. Instead of just letting her live her life and then come back around, I hope in time she'll want to be my friend, and that we'll actually move away from the mother-daughter relationship and actually go down a different path. And my fingers and toes are crossed for that. So far it hasn't happened, but she needs to finish up her studies and keep moving down her career path, and take care of herself and live her best life. You be you. But I put a lot of pressure on her to reach back out to me, and it came to there was something else that happened as well, but it was a trigger moment, and we ended up not communicating for months, almost a year, and she just really needed to find herself. All of us do that. I guess we go through those times. I remember speaking with my sister, and she's like, oh God, I blamed everything on my mom, we da. So I know that these things happen, even with relationships. I say my sister, but it's my stepsister, and so it's my stepsister and my stepmom, and they had a great relationship and had so much fun. And that's what I remember, that's how I see it. But yeah, I guess Chris kind of just threw threw her under the bus when she was younger and blamed her for everything, and, you know, came back around to saying that she had done her best and all those things. But it was nice for me to find someone who I love dearly who had actually done what Alina was doing as well, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm babbling again. So it's really important to keep in check the neediness, because I know that that had a very negative effect on the relationship with my daughter. It did not help the situation. It did not make it end any sooner. You know, her self-discovery and my like mourning the loss of being a mom didn't help any of that. All it did was screw it up a little bit more and make it more challenging to get past it all. So if you've identified that you have empty nest syndrome, just deal with it yourself is my biggest advice to you. And how you do that, for me, it took getting out of major ruts that I had in my life and like these systemic mistakes I kept making over and over again with where I was choosing to live and jobs I was taking and things like that. So even in last year's video, I told you I shot it. It was a little bit depressing, but you know, I'm in a better place now. And I am. I was an expat last year when I shot the video. Then I took off to be a digital nomad. I realized that wasn't what I wanted. I fell in love. I was living in Malaysia at the time, in Kuala Lumpur, and I fell in love with this tiny little island in Indonesia, super chilled. And I manifested a life for myself. I now am working with a business partner. I have my visas coming through this month. I'm very excited to start my life here. And all of that has taken me, like this proactive push to a life that I really, really love, working hard, like working from like 5:30 in the morning until 11 at night, building my website myself, but doing things for me, for my future, have been one of the greatest gifts I could give myself. And I only wish I had decided to do something and stay focused on it sooner, because I'd divert into like, oh, I'm gonna do this project, I'm gonna do that project, and I would start, but I'd stop. And this time I didn't stop. It's everything that I want. And that's helping a whole lot. Having something that's all mine, having something that makes me happy. And it isn't a job that I'm taking for the money. I'm doing something passionately that I'm thrilled about, which please do subscribe to my new YouTube channel. I'm starting up, it's called That Wow. I'm starting my own business. Anyway, I won't start until my visa comes in and I can actually start doing anything, but I've put everything up, so I'm gonna put links. If you could please follow me on Instagram and subscribe on YouTube. It would make me so happy, thank you. But having this new platform for myself, and it doesn't have to be a work thing. If you've always wanted to go travel, go travel. If you've always wanted to learn how to do X, Y, or Z, do that. If you've just wanted to write a book or master the art of cooking something, or you are single and you think you want to be in a relationship, start trying to, well, actually I cannot give advice on that because I'm so much happier single than in a relationship, and I don't think that you should look to someone else to make you happy. I think you need to become the person that you want to be, and that the happiness within you will allow you then to be happy, and then you can be in a relationship. But yeah, don't look for someone to make you happy. But when it comes to reaching out to your child, once you've started on the path and you've kind of identified that this is an issue, you know, just kind of back off is my biggest advice to you. I've done that. I am really happy to say, because I paid for all of my daughter's education expenses, and I had to pay for my life too, and her apartment, and her beer, and her food, and all that. I haven't seen her in almost 3 years because I had to make financial choices. And I'm seeing her this December for the first time. She's coming for a month up from Africa. She's living in Tanzania. And we're gonna have just this great month traveling around Southeast Asia and chilling out here. I'll show you my place, hold on. has this beautiful view. Okay, I think you can see me. I have this new setup and my microphone's blocking my view, but I think you can see me. So she's coming for a month. I'm so excited and so happy about that. And so for me, I still would love for her to want to engage with me more and have more interactions with me. But I'm going to take what I get and be happy for it and not look at it as a slight to myself. I'm going to take it on board as her living her life and compartmentalizing the way that she needs to. If you are going through empty nest syndrome, read up on it as much as you can, because I didn't do that and it stuck with me for about 3 years-ish. And that is 3 years too long. I could have wallowed for a while, read up on it, figured out how to get my shit together and how not to behave when it came to interacting with my daughter, but I didn't do that. I stayed uneducated. I wrote about my pain and the delicate like imbalance I had caused, or the harsh imbalance I had caused with my daughter by being so needy, and how, so I know that those writings that I did, they're helpful to other people, but I imagine that there are amazing psychiatrists, psychologists who've written books who can outline a path forward that will really help. So find that path, get some books, read a book, take a, I don't know, go to therapy or whatever it is that you need to do. Don't do what I did and do nothing except try to figure it out yourself. And be happy. I wish you happiness. And I can tell you it does get better. So just find your light, like move out of the shadows and through the tunnel, and you will be a happier person in the end. Your child will be happier because you won't be so sad and so needy and all of that. I just really wanted to share something meaningful today on my birthday and hopefully help you in a way that I wish I had been helped when I was going through that. So leave a message down below if I can be of any help, and I wish you the best on your path forward. It really does get better, trust me.